The opening was shockingly amazing, but what about the episode? Warning, heavy spoilers for One Punch Man Season 3 Episode 1. Oh dear, the Narikine private force that was hired by that rich dude in order to get his kidnapped son back. I actually thought these guys would do something, but the next time you see them, they are on their hands and knees begging the monsters not to hurt them or attack them. Even though these guys and gals were looking like a $2 bargain bin Ginyu force, they were looking mighty cool, walking out with those serious expressions. But no, it was honestly a whiplash seeing them in this state. But you know, I actually like that they showed this scene, showing us how despite these humans being all brave and tough with their armor and all that, face to face with these monsters and their terrifying power are shrinking in fear. And you know what, mate? I don't blame these guys. I mean, look how many they are. And I love how all the monsters are in these silhouettes. Apart from the main one-eyed monster, you don't see a lot of their designs. The sheer amount of monsters and the fact that we can't see them really intensifies the fear because human beings fear what is unknown to them. And those aliens look pretty freaky in my opinion. And then DOS comes out of the shadows and I'm like, dude, we know the director Shinpai Negai has worked on quote-unquote adult content. Seeing this character on screen reminded me of this dude and his previous work, but damn, for her to turn those people into her new puppets after they begged her not to was honestly quite sad. But I feel like this scene had one of the most interesting parts of the episode, with Garo being tasked to get the head of a hero. In regards to all the male characters in this episode, Garo has some of the best designed shots in this entire episode. The colors were popping off in certain scenes. I was very impressed with JC Staff's work. But going back to Garo's mission, I am curious, who is he going to take the head off? The whole Garo storyline is very interesting in my opinion. In the opening you see the little boy once again, the same kid from season 2. I wonder if he's going to make some sort of return, because he did run away scared towards the end of season 2 because Garo was absolutely looking like a monster. Maybe the kid will have a change of heart and possibly be some sort of disciple of Garo. That would be very interesting. Another interesting thing about this episode was the post-credit scene with Speedo Sound Sonic. It does look like he ingested that monster fleshy particle thing, but the dude is looking creepy. His target is Saitama, and it does appear that the Lord King Orochi wants Garo to take the head of a hero, so would his target be Saitama? Are these two going to come face to face? Who knows, we just got to wait and see. I like how despite the episode having a lot of dramatic, really intense, heavy dialogue moments, it did have some comedy and some really chilled out moments, especially the scene of her shouting at Saitama. And speaking of her, I feel like out of all of the characters, she had the most animation. The most love and care was put onto Fubuki. I mean, some of these shots were absolutely wild. Shinpai Negai, I see you, I see you. I do like how Saitama starts to get a bit serious when the hero hunter Garo's name is brought up after he controlled alt-deleted the lives of some other heroes. Saitama is always a goofy, laid back, chilled out dude, but when it comes to people's lives, particularly heroes who do what they need to do to help others, it is well and truly unforgivable, and even he starts to get a bit serious. And I like that, he really does focus on what truly matters. The end credit sequence was also really nice. I love some of these pretty backgrounds, and the music was really nice and calming and soothing. But those are all the positives. Now let's talk about the negative. Oh my goodness. For a series called One Punch Man, there sure was a lack of action. Yes, I know it is indeed episode 1. It is more of a setup episode to warm people up and to remind you of certain characters' personalities, but oh my goodness, it does look like Fubuki was the only character to get any sort of motion. While I was impressed and surprised that they animated Garo putting his shirt down instead of freezing in that frame, some of his animation scenes were a bit wonky in my opinion. If you play the sound of a ticking clock with Garo's walking sequence, it more or less matches up. Yes, Garo's artwork was good, but some of that emotion, dude, it was a bit jarring in my opinion. And the villains towards the end, I thought at least some of them would be moving. The one-eyed guy, I thought some of his tentacle things would be moving, but it was very still. It's like this studio looked looked at the ladies and were like, ooh, ladies, let us animate these girls really well, because both Fubuki and Do S got some pretty fluid sequence in this episode. The opening was so unbelievably amazing in my opinion, mainly the second half that I really thought that we were going to see some nice motion. Fortunately, the artists at JC Staff were absolutely goated, trying to make nearly every frame in this episode look as visually appealing as possible. This episode already looks so much better in terms of the visuals compared to the majority of season 2. You know what this episode should have done? They should have put the opening at the end. That way people could still appreciate the episode for what it is and then get hyped up after seeing that amazing opening. I do hope that opening is not clickbait. You would think that the first episode of a new season, which took almost 6 years for it to be released, would have some sort of visual spectacle to get people hooked in and get them excited for the new season. Did they put all of their budget into that opening theme song? I hope not, because we still have 11 episodes to go. I will somewhat forgive this episode because it is a setup episode with no action sequences, so I think I will wait until later on in the season to truly judge and criticize whether or not the animation is bad or not. Maybe the episode had a lack of animation because they are saving it all for the upcoming episodes. It does look like Saitama was going to fight Garu, as well as Supersonic Soundboy also wanted to confront Saitama. Could we have a potential three-way battle royale with Saitama, Garu, and Supersonic Soundboy? Will that be the episode where the Sakuga explodes on the screen? Who knows, I am an anime only. But overall, the episode had absolutely fantastic visuals, the voice acting was top notch, Fubuki and DOS were absolutely unbelievable, and of course the opening and ending songs, pretty amazing in my opinion. But sadly, the lack of animation, the lack of actual movement, even subtle character animation, does have me a wee bit concerned, laddie. But let us hope that the upcoming episodes will look absolutely stellar. Tell me in the comments down below, what did you guys think of all of this? Did you like or hate the episode? Were you impressed or were you disappointed? Did Shinpai Negai's directional debut as the One Punch Man Season 3 director impress you or leave you incredibly frustrated and mad? Tell me, like this video, subscribe for more One Punch Man videos. Stay tuned as I'll be doing a manga versus anime comparison of this episode. Also subscribe for more anime news updates, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings and more. Thank you for watching. The Second Boy Dude signing out.